I want to write is Alibaba 1001 mistake. Life is not how much we achieved, it's how much we gone through the tough days.
You're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. Ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit.
If you want to learn computer science, just, Knuth wrote the book, buy it, okay? Read it and do the problems if you really think you know this thing. If you want to learn physics, Feynman wrote the book. Just read the damn book. It's all there. So that when we put stuff online, we don't have it.
Probably seem pretty
very rewarding when you work on something you think is going to make a big difference. And yeah, it's a little bit harder, but I think the passion that one might bring with it brings so much more energy to that you're more likely to succeed.
When you're trying to run something at the scale of Google, you rely on other strong leaders, like learning to let go and really empowering people, at all levels of the organization. And as a leader, a lot of your job is to make those people successful.
Can learn that process for the sake of process is the worst thing of all time, and that's all they've become. I think startups are impatient, underestimate scale. Big companies pander to Wall Street, startups pander to VCs, neither panders to the end consumer. Everybody panders to things in the middle that mean nothing.
Growing up, my dad used to encourage my brother and me to fail.
A lot of talking and most people don't put in the effort. There's nothing you can accomplish in life with the right amount of work. The challenge is, are you willing to do the work? And the reality is most people aren't. But that's the opportunity, right? It's like people at school. Most people are lazy, right? They barely get through it, and so that creates opportunity.
The most important thing about running a company is to remember all the time what a company is. A company is simply a group of people, and as a leader of people, you have to be a great listener, you have to be a great motivator. You have to be very good at praising and looking for the best in people, and that's a critical attribute of a leader.
What's the most important key to success? I think it's hunger. It's
win. You're going to get to sit wherever you want in life.
There's a lot of people here that are very interested in starting their own companies. Yeah. So what advice do you have?
First advice for someone who wants to be an entrepreneur is to be an entrepreneur, not to necessarily cogitate and study about it. Advice number 2 is that
your talent cannot be dismissed. Finally, this will save you. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You're only on this planet to be you.
Many years ago, I had this conversation with my mentor, and he asked me the question, Dan, what do you think is the #1 quality of an entrepreneur? And I said, team. And I said, good idea. I said many, many, many things. He said, no. He said, the #1 quality of a successful entrepreneur is this, and that is the ability to endure pain for a long period of time. Didn't talk about the Ferrari, didn't talk about the big house, pain for a long period of time. Is that you?
I decided that India could produce its own car. Everybody, my friends overseas in the automobile business, said that this couldn't be done. We had to go through a collaboration. But the car did come out. It did earn a 20% market share, and we showed that we could do something. The greatest pleasure I've had is trying to do something that everybody says could not be done.
People perform better when there's no safety net. People perform better in sports and everything else if you don't have a plan B. To me, it is very dangerous to have a plan B because you're cutting.
I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it.
Most of the kids or most of the adults have got 4 or 5 projects, none of which are worth a shit, okay? The kids work on apps and programs and write code, not for an hour, a week, a month, but years. And they get no results. Your results are instantaneous. Most of the programs don't work. So focus on the few, not the many. Laser beam focus and absolute 1,000% total commitment and willing to make personal sacrifices. And the kids don't want to make any sacrifices now. People that we admire, the Elon Musks, the Steve Jobs, the Warren Buffetts, etc., all have one thing in common. They have extremely high self-esteem. But to build high self-esteem, and the way you build high self-esteem, if you're 25, 35, or 45, is to be around, surround yourself with other people that have high self-esteem. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And so you can reverse your childhood by who you associate with. High performance people fly like eagles. Eagles fly alone. Zuckerberg has no mates. Elon Musk.
Of the day, you're not in it. But how you become in shape is you must visit suffering, visit working out 1 hour a day. Visit suffering 1 hour a day. Visit your past failures 1 hour a day. The relationship with it is the answers are in there. Once you come face to face with who you are, you have a starting point. All right, I'm not real smart. I have no courage. I have no self-esteem. I have no nothing. Nothing. That's my starting point. Now we can move from there. But if I tell myself I'm strong, I have courage, I'm smart, and all these are lies, you continuously push that starting point backwards. Right?
The reality of doing the right thing matters more than the perception of doing the right thing. And as long as we are confident that we're doing the right thing, even if we are criticized and sued and all that, we should nonetheless do the right thing and not care about simply the perception of the right thing.
There are a lot of negative things in the world. There's a lot of terrible things that are happening all over the world, all the time. Lots of problems that need to get solved.
It's just built around a great product or service. That's the whole purpose of a company, is to propagate that product or service and put it in the hands of people who would find it useful.
One of the most difficult choices I have ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. And I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it. But if I split it between two companies, then both might die. And when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. So it's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death? I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the two. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through.
My brother and I were starting our first company. Instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. We had just one computer, so the website was up during the day and I was coding at night. 7 days a week, all the time. Work hard, like, every waking hour. That's the thing I would say, particularly if you're starting a company.
So did school fail you, or you failed school?
School failed me. School's failing entrepreneurs every single day.
Because?
Because it's not built for entrepreneurship. It's built for workers. You know, if you're being taught to play within the lines, and there's nothing being taught that maps to the entrepreneurial market. As a matter of fact, my biggest cynicism when I sit across an entrepreneur today is if they are too successful at school. I am not interested in judging people's hustle. I'm interested in telling people how I've accomplished what I've accomplished, which is, I don't think I'm that talented. I do think I've outworked people. I think that's real. I also think it's controllable. And I think anybody who's watching right now, they may not be the most talented entrepreneur or salesman or an amazing craft of content, but if they outwork somebody, that is a variable that feels in control.
CEOs and leaders have to be lifelong students. And not just students in the sense of attending courses or reading a book or two. You've got to learn how to read widely, walk the market, look at trends in the marketplace, make connections that don't seem obvious, and start to paint pictures of what the future could be. You don't become a defining company just because you delivered good financials. You become a defining company because you did something much more than that. And to us, it was performance with purpose. And performance with purpose is something that was a long journey, and every year
you added a new layer of richness and complexity to this whole notion of purpose. I really wanted to build in purpose into PepsiCo in a way that nobody could change it well into its future.
Today is very tough. Tomorrow is more tougher. The day after tomorrow is beautiful, but most people die tomorrow evening. You have to work very hard. Every tough days, every tough situations, problems you meet, that is the training of yourself.
A lot of people today have a lot of complaints. Say, I don't have opportunity. I complained a lot when I was young, and suddenly realized complaint does not solve any problem. Where the opportunity always in the place where people complain. There are so many opportunities in the world, in this world, because there are so many complaints. If you can solve the complaint, one of the complaints, that's the opportunity.
People have very high standards for how they want their work life to be. If you can get your work life to be where you enjoy half of it, that is that is amazing, because very few people ever achieve that. Because the truth is, everything comes with overhead. That's reality. Everything comes with pieces that you don't like. The stock is not the company, and the company is not the stock. And so as I watched the stock fall from 113 to 6, I was also watching all of our internal business metrics, number of customers, profit per unit. Every single thing about the business was getting better and fast. And so as the stock price was going the wrong way, everything inside the company was going the right way. We didn't need to go back to the capital markets. We didn't need more money, but we just needed to continue to progress. You cannot invent and pioneer if you cannot accept failure. To invent, you need to experiment. And if you know in advance that it's going to work, it is not an experiment. And so that's a very important thing. They are inseparable twins, failure and invention. And so you have to be willing to do that.
The real message is we all started from no. I mean, we all had bullshit jobs. We all felt like losers. But through time and effort, you build a stronger human. You build a stronger body. You build a stronger mind. You build accomplishments and will and momentum. And then you look back and you go, hey, man, I'm not washing tables anymore. You know, I'm not washing dishes. I'm not cutting lawns. I'm not digging ditches. Yeah. You know, I'm a different person now, but I used to be.
Well, watch how this relates. Some people, they have a really bright vision, a bold vision. That's great, grand vision, right? Amazing, wow, inspiring. But they have low standards. They're not willing to do the work. And then you have the other sort of people, those with really high standards, but they lack a vision for the future. They don't have a vision that inspires them. You have to have that vision for the future. Number two, you have to have the strategies to make the vision a reality. But number three, you have to be able to share that vision with other people, to communicate the vision to people in a way that moves them to take action, to come help you achieve it, that gets them going, gets them pumped. My work is my pleasure, and my pleasure is my work. Correct. And success to me is not even about money. It's more about just like being right. And I love the idea of figuring shit out. I'm almost happiest when I'm struck. My highest value is to try something, not get it right away, and have to work hard and then figure the shit out. And it's no better feeling than cracking the code after something doesn't work the first. I mean, this would be great if it does, but usually it doesn't, right? Correct. But I love that feeling of failing and then succeeding.
Aim low. And I don't mean don't aim, and I don't mean don't aim up. But you have to accept the fact that you can set yourself a goal that you can attain, and there's not going to be much glory in it to begin with. Because if you're not in very good shape, the goal that you could attain tomorrow isn't very glorious. But it's a hell of a lot better than nothing, and it beats the hell out of bitterness, and it's way better than blaming someone else. It's way less dangerous. And you could do it. People have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And so the ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. Well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. You're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. Yeah, and if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're going to do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you.
You ask any entrepreneur about the journey, and they're going to tell you the dark moments when they faced the abyss and they didn't know what was going to happen. And I think that gives a tremendous amount of emotional fiber to a person. And you know, I think it manifests itself in a certain amount of confidence over time.
If you want to become successful in life, young man, he said, number one, you got to change your mindset. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number two, practice OQP, only quality people. And the third thing he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are.
Our beliefs create our thoughts, and our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings create our behavior, and our behavior creates our results. And so if you want anything to change on the results level, don't just go to the behaviors or the feelings or even the thoughts. We need to go deeper to our beliefs, because if we can handle that, everything changes.
In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
If I'm miserable, if I'm upset, if I'm angry, if I'm cranky, it is my responsibility, because it's based on what I'm thinking or believing in that moment. It's not the outside world causing me to feel this. It's what I'm doing up here that's making me have that reaction. And if I'm the problem, I am also the solution.
So many things go wrong when you're starting a company. And often I think people ask, what mistakes should you avoid making? And my answer to that question is don't even bother trying to avoid mistakes, because you're going to make tons of mistakes, right? And the important thing is actually learning quickly from whatever mistakes you make and not giving up.
What happened for me is I realized as my life was circling the drain and we're facing bankruptcy and Chris is on the couch, that this was not the situation that I wanted. I didn't want my life to end in divorce. I didn't want to be in financial ruin. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to be anxious. And here's the truly screwed up thing. I knew what to do to fix it. See, this is the trap that most of us are in.
One of the things in our value of customer is every interaction matters. If something happens, a customer, A, wants you to care, wants you to listen, wants you to care, and would like you to fix it. And it's really that easy. If you listen, you care, and you fix it.
You may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true. The fact about human beings is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things. And in order to change, in order to build a business, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary.
A fake teacher is somebody who just wants a job and they'll teach anything. They teach how to shine shoes if you pay them more money. But they really don't know what they're teaching. One of the things I suggest to people, you got to find a real teacher versus a fake teacher. And a fake teacher is somebody who doesn't do what they teach. And a real teacher is doing what they teach every day. And we still tell kids to go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, and get out of debt. Now, who tells them to do that? That's the most ridiculous thing there is.
The book starts and it says, lie number 1, saving money will make you rich.
Yeah, it never will. You know that.
All taught that as kids.
Yeah, because they can print it. Why would you save it and why would you work for it if they can print it faster than you can work for it?
The skill to hold your opinions to yourself until everyone has spoken does 2 things. 1, it gives everybody else the feeling that they have been heard. It gives everyone else the ability to feel that they have contributed. And 2, you get the benefit of hearing what everybody else has to think before you render your opinion.
Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you could go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen, no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up no matter what. When you feel like giving up, don't. When you thinking about giving up, don't. When it look like you ain't gonna make it, keep going. When they tell you you can't, come on, man, who are they? Don't believe them, man. Don't believe them. You got to be relentless.
I can tell you what our goal is. Our goal is to make the best personal computers in the world and to make products we are proud to sell and would recommend to our family and friends. And we want to do that at the lowest prices we can.
Somebody taught me a long time ago a very valuable lesson, which is if you do the right things on the top line, the bottom line will follow. And what they meant by that was if you get the right strategy, if you have the right people, and if you have the right culture at your company, you'll do the right products, you'll do the right marketing, you'll do the right things logistically and in manufacturing and in distribution. And if you do all those things right, the bottom line will follow.
Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do.
We run Apple for the long term. And so it's always struck me as bizarre that there's a fixation on how many units are sold in a 90-day period, because we're making decisions that are multi-year kind of decisions. And so we try to be very clear that we do not run the company for people that want to make a quick buck. We run the company for the long term.
Sometimes the biggest blessing is in the redirection. You know what I mean? Sometimes that is the blessing itself, and oftentimes we look at it like, oh, you know, this sucks, this is so bad. But you realize later how necessary that redirection was, and it could be something that you never imagined.
Let the sand represent your life. The sand in the bottom of the glass would represent the past. The sand in the top of the glass would represent the future. There's nothing you can do about the past. That is gone. Too many people spend their time living there, wishing they had done this or wishing they had done that. It's gone. The only time you've got is right here, right now. So being worried about the past or the future is foolish. If we make up our mind we're going to do what we feel is the best thing for us right now, we're going to have a pretty good life.
This is what champions do. This is what people who win perpetually do. They don't give a fuck what's happening in the world. They don't let the distractions of the day pull them off course. Do those things make it harder for them to do it? Yes. But what does that mean? It means that we focus. It means we get more discipline. And if you quit, if you falter, if you stop, all of the pain will be for nothing.
I don't let people tell me what I can and can't do. It won't happen. Don't do this, don't do that. Okay, whatever. Like, it don't matter what they say. You gotta, whatever you believe, you go for it. And you gotta understand, before you succeed, you must first learn to fail. Like, if you fail 1 or 2 times and you stop pursuing your dream, you ain't ready anyway.
I want to hear shit from you talking about you being broke. If you're not working in 60 hours minimum a week that you're getting paid for, turn off YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and get your ass out there. Go down there and work at McDonald's, Circle K, get you a job. I don't care about your pride. You can't be proud and broke at the same time. Go work, and then you take that money you make from your part-time job, invest some of it, take half of it, invest it to your future.
You want this money, you want this, you want what I got, you gotta put in the fucking work. And as far as I'm seeing, nobody's putting in the work. Nobody's there. Everyone's talking. Everyone's thinking, just because Connor has it, I should have it. No. I didn't always have it. There's a reason why I have it. I had to work my fucking bollocks out to get it. So, and here I am still working while they're talking.
Fear is, always with you. I don't know anyone that, honestly can say they don't have fear in life, You have fear of something, or another. But if your motivation exceeds fear, you're always going to overcome it.
You know why you can't tell it to everybody? Because if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. God has shown you some amazing stuff in your life that you thought was brilliant. Then you took it to your friends and your family, and you shared it with them, and they shot it down. You know why they shot it down? Because they couldn't see it. You know why they couldn't see it? Because God didn't show it to them. He showed it to you.
We live in a world where anyone has the right to say anything that they want about you at any time. But just please remember that you have the right to prove them wrong.
I was thinking about suicide every day, and I had nothing to be upset about. I was heavyweight champion of the world. I was 27 years old. I had money, fame, glory, a family, achievements, kids, everything running so smooth, but it didn't matter because mental health will bring you to your knees if you let it.
One of the most important messages I have for entrepreneurs is that failure should inspire you to get smarter. And unfortunately, our school system says if you fail, you're stupid. That is not true. You know, we learn from our mistakes. Mistakes are opportunities to get smarter, be humble, and take a look at something.
If you're going to school, what your parents will say? You must be number one. If you are number one, what about all the other 30-40 kids who are there? They must be below you.
They're losers.
They're losers. So your joy is only in other people failing. When your joy is about other people's misery, that's not joy, that is sickness.
So you've got 3 more years left at college, right?
About 4.
Okay, hear me out, okay? I want you to keep in touch with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you my email address, because I want to finance those next 4 years in the college personally, and help you, okay? Do it for you. And keep that dream alive one day of owning your bakery. And then when your bakery's open, all I want back is a loaf of bread.
Caring only makes you weak.
They think you care, they'll walk all over you.
Act like the person you want to become. And the reason why this is so important is we know thinking alone won't get you to change. You actually have to take the actions that change everything.
You don't want to be the stupidest guy in the room. It's a bloody rough place to be. So, and you probably don't want to be the smartest guy in the room either, because what that probably means is you should be in a different room, right? You should look at a place where if you're right at the top, you've mastered it. It's time to go somewhere where you're a little lower so that you've got something to climb up for.
You said, I'm ready to die.
I looked at him, and I remember, I call it Ese Diablo. He was looking at me, and he just had this like look, and he's just swinging his hands. And I said, you're not going to beat me. I'm prepared to die. And I meant that, man. I swear to God on my life, I meant that. I signed my death warrant right there. I was like, look, if this is how I die, this is how I die. But you see me, I was trying to get him. I was trying to kill him. I knew, because for me, if I'm ready to die, I'm ready to kill. You have to be willing to give something up as well. If he had taken it to me, and if he had done that to me, and I didn't wake up, so be it.
Excuse me, is this the new Rolls Royce?
That's a $350,000 car, sir. It's really expensive. I don't know if you can afford it.
I'm paying cash.
Okay. I am genuinely confused. Where did you get all that money?
I'm a multi-millionaire.
Here's a piece of advice. Next time, don't judge a book by its cover.
When's the last time you went shopping?
Houston, a week ago.
What'd you buy?
An airline.
The famous Bruce Wayne. Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not. So let's put a couple tables together.
I'm not sure that they'll let us.
Oh, they should. I own the place.
Here's how you know if someone's your friend. A, you can tell them bad news, and they'll listen. And they won't tell you why, you're stupid and why that bad thing happened to you and how something worse happened to them once and, derail the whole conversation. You can actually tell them bad news and they'll listen. So that's a good thing. And then this is a weirder thing. You can tell them good news and they'll help you celebrate. And that's a really good way of deciding who you should have around you.
God never made a chair. In all of his years of being God, he's never made a chair. He's never made a table. He just made a tree. And the rest of it was up to us.
Right.
When God hands you a tree, imagine a table, a chair, imagine a wall in a room, imagine a log cabin, imagine what it can be, imagine what it can be.
People only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. You're supposed to You're supposed to get knocked down a couple times. You're supposed to lose. That's how you learn. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. You have to experience imperfection at some point to go, now I'm perfect. And that's what people don't realize.
In 1 month, I got 9 views and 2 subscribers.
2 subscribers?
Yes, sir.
I like the color.
You like the color?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had mixed reviews on the color. Some people said they like it, some people said they don't like it, and I said, well, what color's your bagay? Oh, fuck off then.
If you're supposed to be at work on Friday, let's say at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., you're gonna be there. If you work in a restaurant and your boss tells you to take out the trash, you're gonna take out the trash. But when you tell yourself that you're gonna start a YouTube channel on Friday, or when you tell yourself you're gonna pivot in another direction September 1st, and you don't, why? There's a lack of respect. There's a lack of respect for yourself. And you have to get to the root of that. You have to show up for yourself.
Just be calm when things are going well. Be calm. Don't think you're on top of the world in the sense. You always got to be wary, because I've seen it. I've seen people come. I've seen people go. I've seen them come. I've seen them go. You got to be chill. You got to just take what's good in your life and move forward cautiously and carefully, and thank God that you have that. Just it's very, very important not to overextend yourself when you think you got it. That's no such thing. Everybody's dispensable.
I'm a big believer in consistency over intensity. Intensity should be done once in a while, because by nature, intensity can only be done once in a while. If you're going hard every day, you're not really going hard every day. You can't go your max every day. There's a cost to going to your max, because intensity by nature entails that you need to take a break. Because if you don't need to take a break, you didn't really go to your maximum intensity.
As a boss, you wake up every day trying a way to better your situation. And not just for yourself, but everybody that's around you. And not just for everybody that's around you.
The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. So what's happened along that process? You've learned to love the journey, right? You love the journey. Man, when you love the journey, the goals just happen. You hit milestones as a side effect, right? Because it doesn't matter. At that point, I don't care if I can lift this much weight or run this fast. I mean, that's cool and it's great and I love it, but I don't love it as much as I love the journey. I love the journey. What does the journey consist of? Sucking at something, failing, getting better, learning, start a new journey, start it over, do it again.
People don't see that, and people will never understand that to be success. All they think about, well, he batted 202, and he struck out a certain number of times. Yeah, okay. But the effort was there, and the learning curve and the passion was there that has transcended not just to me, but to other people who are afraid to do things because they're worried about the perception that may come from other places. To me, that's more gratifying than anything, So that's the things that my father and my mother instilled in me. Take a negative and turn it into a positive. Don't be afraid to fail.
You finally made it to the big league, and now you want to chill. Now you got the big head, now you can't grind. You're here now. You're here now. You finally made it. And this is where you play games. This is where you start chilling. This is where you get comfortable.
The fact that I'm going to die one day and that everyone around me is going to die and no one will remember me after a certain point makes me feel so good. Because I could do the best thing in the world and nobody would remember it ever, and I'll die and it won't matter, and everyone else around me will die and it won't matter. Or I could do the worst thing in the world and that won't matter because I'll die eventually.
When should entrepreneurs, if at all, pivot?
I have a very simple rule to this, and I tell them all when I invest in them. If you're not making money after 36 months, 3 years, you got to take it behind the barn and shoot it, because it's just a hobby. It's not a business.
As a leader, fearless, God-fearing, we will heal. We will show the world what America should be, the dream.
Do not go into a job thinking about money. Because if you go into a job thinking about money, you're not going to get the most out of it. If you go into a job loving it, being passionate about it, you're going to get everything you got coming out of it. But if you go into that job saying, I'm going to make a whole lot of money, this job's going to pay me this, you ain't going to get nothing out of it. You have to love it first. And I felt like I've always loved rap more than I love money. I've always loved rap more than I love fame. I love rap more than I love anything. That's why I built this facility so I could work whenever I want to. And you don't make me, I make it when I want to. When I want to do it, I do it. As opposed to someone telling me, hey, Snoop, I think it's time for you to make a record. I think you should. No, I think I should shoot a TV.
You got lucky. Guys like you always think other people get lucky. I don't get lucky. I make my own luck.
One of the biggest things about being an entrepreneur is finding and learning from everybody else on what they're doing, their negatives and their positives, and create your own lane. So therefore, anytime you come across opportunities, you guys have the leverage in that deal. I would say in that, to be honest with you, look, I've been in the game 20 years now, and this is my first year completely independent. And that's what we've worked so hard for. You know?
If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself.
Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless. You got to be relentless.
There's nothing to gain, nothing to lose in this life. You came with nothing. Whatever the hell is happening, you're on the profit side. Isn't it so? Did you come with investment? No. You come with nothing. So whatever the hell is happening, you're always on the profit side, isn't it? And anyway, they don't allow you to take a container in the end. So all you have is how profound, intense and beautiful is your experience of life.
Look, I've failed many times, and you learn from those failures that it doesn't hurt as bad as you thought. You know, that you can bounce back, and then once you taste some success, you realize it doesn't matter how many times you failed, right? You only have to be right one time, then it's always an overnight success, or, you know, this came easy to them. You know, you just got to keep on grinding and keep on trying new things, and you know, once you start feeling the success, you realize, look, it doesn't matter what the other people think.
It's crazy, because when you're a baby and you go to get up and you go to walk, what's the first thing everybody does? Oh my God, look! Oh, look at Jimmy's walking! Boom, Jimmy falls, but they go, don't, get back up, come on. Hey, everybody, come see this. And everybody's like, yeah. You know why Jimmy walks? Because everybody's motivating him to walk. Well, it's the total opposite as you get into,
It's not an accident. I knew that, most people know that. But the way to keep the poor and middle class working hard is never teach them what the rich know.
If you are really confident about your financial situation, you probably are not going to be wearing an 8-pound chain around your neck. Because you know, oh, I got bank. I don't have to show you how much I got. I feel good.
We should all be helping to heal ourselves, helping to heal each other, helping to heal our daughters, the next generation, by really celebrating our successes and not going, oh, I'm showy, and no, like, I'm confident. I want to share this with you. Like, let's cheer each other on. Like, let's champion each other. Let's show examples of what's possible for everyone else so that they're inspired and believe it's possible as well for them.
It is okay to be scared. It is okay to cry. Everything is okay, but giving up should not be an option. They always say that failure is not an option. Failure should be an option, because when you fail, you get up, and then you fail, and then you get up, and that keeps you going. That's how humans are strong. Failure is an option, should be an option, but giving up is not. Never.
Be focused, be determined. Be hopeful. Be empowered. Empower yourselves with a good education. Then get out there and use that education to build a country worthy of your boundless promise. Lead by example with hope. Never fear.
And today it's getting harder and harder to tap into our own wisdom, because we are all
so hyper-connected to our devices, our screens, our social media, that we're having a hard time disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with ourselves. What I'm telling you is to regularly disconnect from technology, to regularly unplug and recharge in order to reconnect with ourselves and our own deepest wisdom.
Make them see you. Now, if you've ever been called dumb, unattractive, overweight, unworthy, untalented, well, so have I. Whatever you do, don't let negativity of people projecting their own self-doubts on you deter you from your focus. I know those moments are painful, and you're human, and it hurts like hell, but now is the time to turn those criticisms into fuel and motivation to become a beautiful beast.
If you want something, if you have a passion in your heart, fire in your belly, it's gonna be you. It's gonna be you getting up early. It's gonna be you staying up late. It's gonna be you running the miles and going to the gym and eating the kale and doing all the crap that you don't, it's only gonna be you.
Worth, what it is that you expect from the world in response to who you are is very different from value. Self-value means how you hold yourself within yourself and what you expect as a result. In order to get to the worth, if you're not holding yourself within yourself as worthy, then what you expect from the world is surely gonna hurt you.
The most important journey I think all of us will go through is the journey in ourselves, to find our truth, to find fit in. If everyone loves us, that we'll be happy, but that's not entirely true.
I am willing to speak up. I am willing to keep going. I am willing to listen to what others have to say. I am willing to go forward even when I feel alone. I am willing to go to bed each night at peace with myself. I am willing to be my biggest, bestest, most powerful self.
I personally believe that it is our duty as entrepreneurs in this day and age to be the change makers in society. It's not just about building a business anymore. You need to stand for something and contribute to making the world a better place. Because today's consumers demand that brands align with their values and ethics. I want you to never feel like you need to compromise your values to fully realize your dreams.
Life is like a boomerang. If you're good, good things will always come back to you. Think positively, speak positively. Nothing is impossible if you believe.
But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there. And that will be the greatest feeling in the world.
So I wanna say congratulations to all the girls in this world who are strong, who are confident. And yes, we have insecure moments, and that's okay. But guess what? You do something that millions of people would never be able to do if they had the opportunity, because it takes guts, it takes balls.
I guess when you just like be yourself, you know, and in your most genuine possible way and are completely unafraid, that's when everything starts to fall into place. And that takes a while. When you let go and you're like, here you go. Take it or leave it.
Whether you like it or not,
that's as simple as it can be. It's
Yeah.
like, why hold back? You own life. Just have fun and be yourself, and don't worry about the rest. It all falls into place.
Following your dreams is never easy, really, because, you know, it's going to take work, and it's going to take dedication, and it's going to take focus, and it's going to take drive. But as long as you really love it, and you really want it, and you keep that laser focus, then nothing is impossible.
Be patient. Everything in life will go exactly how it's supposed to go. At times you will feel like an outcast, that you don't fit in, but you will discover that being your own clique will be your strongest attribute. In life, you're going to face many challenges, many moments of adversity. There are going to be a lot of successes and some failures too. Those moments are going to create your character, build your integrity, and they will become your beauty marks.
I don't think confidence is something that you are born with. I don't think confidence is, it's a skill set. And I had no confidence growing up as a child. Then over time I realized, like, as a woman, as a girl in this world, if I allow myself to be hurt or if I allow myself to be affected, that's all I'm going to be. And so confidence is something I taught myself over the years. I started becoming okay with who I am.
There's a time in all of our lives where we want to get ahead, where we have an ambition, where we want to do more, where we want to succeed further. And sometimes we hit a wall and we don't know how to get past it. And we realize at the end of it, you know, hopefully you get to the point where you realize the only thing that's stopping you is you. And you can break through any barrier. But sometimes that's a long road. That's a hard journey.
I finally get to LA. I have to pursue my dream, because if I don't, what am I teaching my son? And I have to fight the good fight, because people are telling me I can't. You can't do this. You can't. Are you crazy? You're moving to California with your son. You'll never make it. If you listen to people, and if you allow people to project their fears onto you, you won't live.
I don't like wish. Wishing says to your mind, you haven't got a prayer, but you might as well wish. Because wishing just says, you're not going to do that. Oh, I wish. No one says, I wish I could get up in the morning and clean my teeth. I wish I could pick up that pencil and write a note. You don't say wish, you go, I'm doing it. So when you say to the mind, I wish I could, it says, yeah, me too, get over it.
I said is that when I graduated from college, Mark Zuckerberg was in elementary school. And the lesson you draw from that, and I really mean this so deeply, do not try to draw a straight line. And you know what really matters here is if you try to plan out your career, anyone who thinks you know exactly what you're going to do for the next 30 years, here's what I promise, or 40 years, it's going to be boring and you're going to miss all the good stuff. Because all the good stuff hasn't been invented yet.
Forgiveness actually, if you really understand it, it has less to do with the other person and more to do with you. Forgiveness invites in love, invites in possibility, invites in prosperity, it invites in new thinking, it invites in creativity. So forgiveness is an expanding emotion. When you forgive, you're opened up for new things.
My love for myself could not be based on other people. We spend time on everything to do with hair and makeup and clothes and on other people, looking at other people, talking to other people. But I felt like I wasn't spending any time actually thinking, who am I? Like, I don't know who I am. And I feel like in a relationship, whether it's with yourself or whether it's with somebody else, you have to know yourself, to love yourself. We never get into relationships with people or friendships with people without knowing them.
Almost tricked myself enough that every day I was doing something that was meaningful, that I wasn't addressing how I actually felt. Looking back now, I was at my most miserable because I didn't address how I felt. And now in business and everything I do, I reassess. But I didn't have a growth mindset back then. So now I'm just like, am I enjoying what I'm doing? What is my life's purpose? And am I doing that every single day? And I didn't do that back then.
All I have to say is that this is hard work. I've worked hard for a long time. It's not about winning, but what it's about is not giving up. If you have a dream, fight for it. There's a discipline for passion, and it's not about how many times you get rejected or but you fall down or you're beaten up. It's about how many times you stand up and are brave and you keep on going.
You know, standing here with 19 championships is something I never thought would happen. You know, I went on the courts with just a ball and a racket and a hope, and that's all I had. And it's inspiring for all you guys out there that want to do something and want to be the best that you can be and want to do the best that you can do. You just never give up, because you never know what can happen. You never know who you can inspire and who you can influence. So I'm so honored.
Being an empowered woman to me means being in control, being able to call my own shots, being able to empower other women, lift them up. We are the creators of life. We nurture the world, and we have to nurture each other and make sure that we are raising a generation that leads with love. The importance of women supporting women is, if we don't, who will?
You have to just be aware of the fact that it is a protection mechanism. So I think the first step is self-awareness.
Your fear keeps you safe from risk, and risk is something that the body and the brain want to avoid as much as possible. And it's up to you to not listen to that and recognize that it's just a voice. Fear is not me, I am not fear, and I have the willpower to do whatever I want.
Talk to me about what confidence is.
So, you know, a lot of people misunderstand confidence and they think it's an outward bravado, like you and I can perform and be in front of people, and this is performance confidence. That is not necessarily confidence, because sometimes the quietest people in the room are confident. So when I talk about confident as F, I mean inside and outside. Let's talk about what it truly is. It's an overall sense of feeling like you're going to prevail, feeling comfortable with yourself at any given time, alone in a room, walking into anywhere. And it's not to say that confident people don't have moments, but those moments are so fleeting and so quickly and self-talked out that they're not lasting and, you know, seeping away at your soul.
You know, the biggest influence that she would have, or the change that she would make, actually would be behind closed doors. You know, nobody would actually know that she had made this change. I thought to myself, well, that's empowering. I mean, how old-fashioned, you know, this idea that behind a great man is a great woman. What about being in front of that person or next to them or standing on your own? You know what I mean?
What does size matter? Like, that's the thing. Like, power and strength, first, it lives in the mind.
Right.
So if I think myself strong, I am strong. When I've had altercations with somebody bigger than me or somebody's messed with me, you know, and I knew maybe they could take me. You know, my mind, I'm like, all right, man, you know, you may walk over here, and you may beat me, but I promise you, you're gonna be limping back. You're gonna have to earn that.
When you appreciate what you do have, you create more of what you want. Appreciating even the job that isn't the one that you want forever actually helps you attract the next career path. And you think it's counterintuitive because you're thinking, well, I don't want to appreciate this thing I don't want. That's sending out a message to the universe that I want something I don't want. Actually, no. The more you appreciate what's in front of you, the more you become a magnet for what it is that you desire.
But today I want to talk about the power of going in what can often feel like the opposite direction. I want to talk about the power of following your fear. I'm not talking about following your very useful fear of big moving vehicles and walking in front of a bus, nor am I talking about doing anything stupid or irresponsible that could ruin you financially. What I am talking about, though, is the power of following good fear, directive fear, the kind of fear that you feel when you have an idea that just won't leave you alone, an idea about doing something that you've always wanted to do, something that's different and bold and kind of risky.
We then live our life in defense of that story, though for many of us, that story, like I said, is so small. It might not even apply to the current situation or the current choices that we're making day in and day out. So the goal really is to expand, is to allow in, right, through honesty, through witnessing, all aspects of ourselves, because we all have all of those aspects of ourselves. And the way it mainly comes out is when we see an aspect of ourselves in someone else, and then we don't feel negatively about ourselves because we deny that that's even in there. And then we project all of that negativity onto that person.
In my experience, like to feel this dynamic, to have this kind of dialogue with myself is truly what allows me to be the woman that I am, and I love her. So if I want to invite you to create this unbreakable relationship with yourself where you have, you know, all the S's and that self-trust, that self-love, that self-confidence, I'm going to invite you to really pay attention to your dialogue with yourself and get into a loving dialogue with yourself.
In a marriage, in a relationship, we're all going to have those days where we wake up and we just like want to say, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. It's easier to just throw my hands up in the air and walk away. And then what I would tell myself is, okay, like that's the easy way out. But, you know, tomorrow or the next day when you're feeling a little bit better, you're going to regret that.
Life is short and it's fragile. And we don't know how many birthdays we have. So we don't have to have a birthday to celebrate. Just celebrate life. And if you haven't told someone you love them, do it now. Do it. Tell people you love them. Call your friends, text your friends, hug them, kiss them.
where it's like, if I were to do this, or if I were to give you, are you strong enough? Are you capable of being someone that's going to be in my life? That's how I approach things now. And I'm not being conceited. I'm saying it's actually an honor to be with me, because I think I'm a great person and I love people deeply, and I won't tolerate ever being treated the way that I had.
Are you in a good relationship with yourself? Do you love your own company? If you're miserable alone, I'm sorry, your partner will be miserable with you. So we need to understand that we need to love our own company. Only then people will love to enjoy our company too. And don't rush. Wait for the right person. Because if it's meant to be, it will be.
I would say, above all, she's always reminded me that we only have one life and that it's your job to fight for your happiness. It's your responsibility to fight for your happiness, and nobody and nothing will do that for you. You have to fight for it yourself. And so, yeah, I think that's the biggest lesson.
So what I see so many people doing is this classic mistake of trying to make someone else love them. I'm going to find this guy and try to make him love me. I'm going to find this girl, this woman, and try to make them love me. I'm going to run after love, chase after love, work so hard. I'm going to earn that love of being super good or super hot or super nice or super indispensable. And that is all a mistake. Love is not to be earned. Love is not to be worked for or run after or bought or even traded. And if you want to find love, there's one thing you have to change. It is not your body. It's not your weight, your shape, your size, the years on your birth certificate. The only thing you need to find love is a belief that you are lovable.
I say to my girls all of the time that your real work is to figure out where your power base is and to work on the alignment of your personality, your gifts that you have to give, with the real reason why you're here. That's the number one thing you have to do, is to work on yourself and to fill yourself up and keep your cup full. Keep yourself full.
This is not something to ignore. If you have depression, if you have anxiety, if you have post-traumatic stress disorder, if you have any kind of mental health condition, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's nothing to hide, and it's something to hit head on with. There's one thing that if you did every single day, no joke, it would make an extraordinary difference in whatever mental health issue you're struggling with, and that is exercise. And the reason you've got to exercise every day is because what we know about human beings is that when you physically move, your physiology changes, and that changes your brain. You take on just that single thing. Get outside and exercise every single day as if your life depends upon it, because you know what? It does. Your brain needs it, your body needs it, your mental health needs it.
That was a big part of self-love for me, is I had to forgive the parts of me that I didn't like.
Yeah.
I had to forgive the controlling one. I had to forgive the impatient one. I had to forgive the judgmental one, the critical one. And understanding they were all trying to protect me. They all had good intentions, just their execution wasn't so great. And coming into acceptance of those parts really, really helped, because just shaming and judging myself and trying to make the negative or critical voices go away didn't work. I had to welcome them and hear them and just have a different relationship with them.
I realized that especially when you have something that you're mentally feeling like you can't move on from, you have to find support. You have to find someone you can rely on. I relied a lot on my friends at that point. I chose, instead of being alone and dealing with it alone, I would go out, seek out people that actually care about me. And I think a lot of kids don't do that. Because of stuff we read and people's opinions that we read, it's important, if you're feeling down, dark, deep, to not keep it to yourself, to not be alone. It's very important to find someone that you can talk to, even if they can't help you. It doesn't have to be a therapist. It could be your mom, it could be your friend, it could be someone, but don't do it alone.
For me, there was a period of time where I really didn't love myself. I think it's that time before I started YouTube where
If I loved myself, I would have got out of bed. If I loved myself, I would have had goals at that time. I would have taken better care of myself. I would have spent time with my friends. My change came with not only within, but how I was treating myself outside, like I mentioned. So I stopped putting myself in a dark room. I started opening the curtains. I started to answer my friends' phone calls. I started to talk to people. The first time I ever talked to my parents about anything I was feeling really, really strongly emotionally was when I got out of that depression. Prior to that, for all the years of my life, I'd never had a conversation with my parents that was like, this is what I'm really feeling inside. And so I started to accept that I needed help and I needed to talk to people.
We, especially women in our society and our culture, we don't allow other women to age gracefully. We don't allow ourselves to age gracefully. And we feel like if we're not like we were when we were 25 years old, if we don't look the same, that we have failed in some way. Like we have not done our job by staying in a stagnant place. And I believe that there's not a day that I want to be the same as I was the day before. I always want to be changing, and I always want to be getting older. I always want to be getting wiser. And that to me is a privilege. Aging is a privilege. Not everybody gets to do it. If you're not aging, the only alternative to not aging is you're dead.
Like something you said when you were talking about, we all know a lot of narcissists and they love themselves, but that's actually not true. Do you know that narcissism is the most shame-based of all the personality disorders? Narcissism is not about self-love at all. It's about grandiosity driven by high performance and self-hatred. It's, I define it as the shame-based fear of being ordinary.
I feel like my issue growing up with finding self-love was when I was focusing on everybody else's opinion on me. And I say this all the time, but it's really about focusing on your opinion of yourself. It's hard to love yourself when you're always focused on everyone else loving you and what can I do to make this person like me or whatever the case is. Just focus on yourself and that's all that matters.
So it's not selfish to put yourself first.
No, it's self-full.
It's self-full.
It's self-full to be first, to be as good as possible to you, to take care of you, to keep you whole and healthy. That doesn't mean that you disregard everything and everyone, but you want to come with your cup full. My cup runneth over. Yeah. What comes out of the cup is for y'all. What's in the cup is mine. But I got to keep my cup full.
I think that this year has been so challenging for so many people, but I also think that this year was a huge cleanse and just a huge opportunity for people to really be grateful for the simple things. And that is a huge, I think, awakening that so many people had. And when we do start to fill our plates back up, I hope that we don't fill them up with things that don't make us happy.
How do you self-reflect productively and effectively about your own anxiety to change it?
Well, how do you, Wendy?
Well, you start with observations about where your anxiety is coming. You start to implement this immediate breathing exercise. Not all of them are immediate. Some of them, like breathing, are. The other one that I always my go-to is movement. Physical activity. Go take a walk outside. You say, I'm in the office. Well, go walk up and down the stairs just once. You don't have to get all sweaty. Just move your body, because I know that every single time we move our bodies, we give our brains a wonderful bubble bath of neurochemicals. Neurochemicals like dopamine and serotonin that will decrease your anxiety levels.
Maintaining confidence and conviction while you're moving forward and feeling like you should be moving faster and yet it feels like a snail's pace. Here's what I know. When we set our goals in place, we do not ever factor in life that happens. We don't factor in the family needing us as much as they do. We don't factor in maybe running out of money, or we don't factor in how we need to use our money in a different direction. The number one way to maintain your confidence and your focus when you're on your way to a big goal and it seems to be taking longer is to set up the timeline of when you expect to achieve that goal to actually factor in the unexpected. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, factor in the unexpected. You don't know what it is, but there's things that could happen. The worst thing that can happen if you're wrong is nothing occurs. and you hit your goals sooner than what you expected.
Staying true to who you are is easy when you know who you are. And I think that I'm 31, and through my 20s, I had to really get to know myself. And I had a lot of like what felt like maybe carpal tunnel, because I was just writing a lot about journaling, about who I wanted to be, what my goals were, and all these different things. And I think that just really knowing who you are and getting to know yourself is really key in whatever industry that you're in and whatever mountain you're trying to move.
What does self-worth actually mean to you?
Oh, self-worth is my belief that I belong wherever I am, in whatever room or space that I'm in, and that I bring value to that space. That I'm not just there because someone else couldn't come, or I'm not just there because they didn't find someone better, but that I bring value no matter where I am. And I feel like so many times women go into a space wanting someone to validate their existence or for someone to give them validation and worth. And yet self-worth is believing in the value that I bring when I come into a room or space.
I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And the reason that I always say that, because I didn't grow up with things being handed to me. I had to work hard, I had to dedicate myself, and I had to be determined, and I was. Even outside of sport, it could be education, it could be business, it could be anything. It requires discipline.
I want women to feel confident no matter what size they are, no matter what shade of nude they are, no matter what their personality is, what their race is, their religion is. I want women to feel confident and sexy because that's who we are and we deserve to feel like that.
But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there. And that will be the greatest feeling in the world.
Everyone out there whose dreams are scaring you, whose dreams make you want to quit, just don't quit. It's good. Your dreams should be big. They should be scary. Just keep pushing through. I have this thing I say, champion mentality. It's not about winning. It's not about a trophy. It's about having no quit. It's about giving everything you have so that when you show up on game day, before the results are over, you're proud of yourself and you know the work you put in.
I want to make sure everybody knows that they're enough. No matter what they go through, what they've been through, that they are enough. The number one cause for anything is people not knowing that they're enough. They feel like they're not enough. Just because you had some bad chapters doesn't mean your story can't end well. And every story has bad chapters. It's about you finding the strength to turn the page. Even with my faith, I believe this, that God will allow you to go through places you don't understand just to bring you to the place where He needs you to be. And so hold on to that in your struggle, in your journey, in your pain. And then turn your pain from your worst enemy to your best friend.
Every difficult moment you're having, God is processing you. That's all He's doing. Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. If you got to be more caring along the way, He's going to let you have some trials come your way that's going to have to produce that in you. And if you need to be tough when you get to where you're going, then He's going to toughen you.
Don't give up. Don't quit. Some of you are hurt and you're going through pain right now and you feel it. Keep speaking blessings. Keep speaking life over your life, over your situation, over your house, over your family. It doesn't matter what things look like. Keep speaking blessings. Listen, your words matter to God because you're bringing life into other people's situations when you direct them to the Father. That's what you were called to do. You weren't called to turn away when things get hard. You were called to stand firm in your faith and know that the demons have to leave. Shut the demons up.
When God gives you your next opportunity, move. And if you are not moving, something is broken. And you have 1,000 chances to give up, but don't do it. Keep on moving.
You can't tell God how to bless you. You can't tell Him what you want and then tell Him how to do it. Because it ain't going to ever be the way you want it to. Because if where you at today, if God had showed you what you would have to go through to get to where you are today, you would turn back. You would go, oh, no. I don't want that part. I don't want to do that. I don't want that part. And you would have missed who you are today. Because in order to get to who you are, you had to go through every single thing you went through. You wouldn't even know what you know You hear old people say all the time, you can't have a testimony without a test.
If God be for you, who can be against you? Let's go on.
Can't read the label when you're locked in the box. Those experiences, they challenge you to go to that next level and continue to move forward in your life, doing new and exciting things that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you when you live a heart-centered life, deciding that you're going to live a life that will outlive you. You're going to live a life that counts, a life that will build a legacy and change the planet.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you.
Why you think you keep imagining opening a business? Why you keep imagining graduating, getting a better job? Why do you keep imagining buying a house? Why do you keep imagining driving a really nice car? Why do you keep imagining getting rich one day? Why do you keep imagining that? Because God is talking to you. He's showing you something that he has for you. He puts it in your imagination, man. See, God is good.
Life is short. It's too short to live depressed. It's too short to live anxious. And it's too short to struggle every day with thinking about taking your life. I want to challenge you tonight to get up. That you're not quitting tonight. That one day it is appointed unto all men to die. But that is God's responsibility, not mine. I want to say to you, get up. Your future is brighter than your past. Get up. Your ladder is greater than your former. Get up, because the best is still yet to come.
Adversity shouldn't change his plans for you. I'm just being real. Adversity shouldn't change God's plans for you. What's happening on the outside shouldn't change what's happening on the inside. The plans that God has for you, amen, those plans should be put in motion. You should receive those plans. You should embrace those plans, and you should live those plans out.
Quit tripping during the process. Oh, Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh, Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh, Lord, why I lose my job? You ain't the only one unemployed. Oh, Lord, why he leave me? You ain't the first chick got left. This might not even be your last time getting left. Pull yourself together and quit tripping, because you in the process. God is processing you. He ain't through with you. If he was through with you, you would not wake up in the morning.
Why does God allow bad things to happen? It's because this is not his dominion. It is the devil. And whatever bad has happened, God can turn into good if you actually give it to him.
Masculinity doesn't mean you're mean. It doesn't mean you're angry. It means strength. It means just discipline. You can't be weak. And in this country, being weak is thought of as a virtue.
Greatness is when you make your delusions your reality. You know, something that's just totally unbelievable to the human's imagination, and you make it your slave.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year, but eventually it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
We work hard to become our own boss so we can do what we want to do. The ultimate goal is to go to sleep when you want to and wake up when you want to. See, when you don't wake up when you want to, then guess what? Somebody's controlling you. And I don't want to be controlled.